If you're a Bleach fan and also an active member of the Bleach community, you're more than likely aware of the myriad of things Bleach fans wish they got in the final arc of Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War arc, with a few of these things ranging from backstories for the Quincy's to a better utilization of the Squad Zero members different from what we got in the manga. However, the biggest and most prominent out of this list of things would be the reason for the Thousand Year Blood War arc itself, that is, a proper flashback arc showing the first war with the Quincy's and the battle between head captain Yamamoto and Yuha 1,000 years ago, as well as the formation of the original Gotei 13, what the other members besides Unohana and Yamamoto were like, their abilities, and their battles alongside head captain Yamamoto. This 1,000 Year Flashback arc, as I'll call it, is without a doubt the biggest piece of story us Bleach fans wish we had received in the manga, but unfortunately this part of the story wasn't very well touched upon and fleshed out like we hoped it would be, with the most we got being nothing more than a few statements here and there, and this could most likely be attributed to Kubo's extremely ill health at the time. It is to my understanding that Kubo had originally intended for the 1,000 Year Blood War to be the longest arc of Bleach, and that he apparently had a lot planned out, so who knows, maybe this flashback was one of the many things Kubo had in mind to add into the arc, but just couldn't because he got really ill, because we know for a fact that Kubo really values his flashback arcs, and Turn Back the Pendulum as well as Everything But the Rain are solid proofs of that, but unfortunately the 1,000 Year Flashback probably couldn't be added in as well, leaving us with nothing more than surface level information of that part of the story. However, with Bleach currently preparing for it to return in the form of an anime adaptation of the 1,000 Year Blood War arc, as well as a potential brand new manga arc, it begs the question of whether the 1,000 Year Flashback arc will be in Bleach's future, and I want to discuss the likelihoods of it happening. Going back to Kubo's inability to add it to the manga, I believe he might put it in the upcoming anime, since he is apparently quite involved with the production process, and his involvement could most likely be to add whatever extra bits and pieces of story that couldn't be written into the manga, as well as give the production team some new ideas and also make sure the anime is well done. Like I mentioned earlier, since Kubo could not fully carry out all his plans that he had for the 1,000 Year Blood War arc in the manga due to his illness, I want to believe Kubo is just unloading a crap ton of shelved ideas and stories onto the production team and the directors. So basically there's actually a very decent chance of the flashback story arc happening in the anime. Secondly, there's also the recent one-shot manga chapter, which opened up a potential and highly anticipated brand new arc for Bleach that is now well over a month old. And taking into consideration the crazy amount of information that Kubo revealed in this chapter, it would seem he's leaning into the 1,000 Year territory because the events of the one-shot chapter take place after the 1,000 Year Blood War, and the eventual progress of the story could lead to us finding ourselves in that era. In the one-shot chapter, we find out about the age-old Soul Society ritual that is performed on deceased captains, emphasis on age-old like 1,000 years old, and Kubo having just established the existence of such an old custom could definitely lead to some interesting flashbacks and stories that could potentially show the starting point of this custom, as well as the first captains it was performed on upon their deaths, that being the original Gotei 13 captains. Yuha was also mentioned in this chapter, so again there's another high chance of the 1,000 Year Flashback happening in this potential arc when it eventually continues. In conclusion, all the setups in this one-shot chapter could easily and finally give us the story arc we Bleach fans have always wanted for a long time, and this whole thing could possibly go in two ways. The upcoming anime could have the flashback arc in full, and the Hell arc might just touch on it a little bit more, or Kubo might decide to leave it out of the anime and just rewrite the whole thing himself into the Hell arc. Either way it goes, I still genuinely believe that the 1,000 Year Flashback arc is in Bleach's future. I'm hopeful, I'm excited, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, as you should too. If you liked the video, please consider giving it a like, as well as subscribing to my channel, and also check out my first video about a theory that you might find interesting, and leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. Stay well.